All right, welcome to the real meat and potatoes of it all. We've got our full playoff predictions and series. So we're going to do a little preview of each of the 8 first round matchups, and then we'll go into our brackets, and we will finish off, I believe, with a Conn Smythe Award.
Oh, yeah.
Looking forward to it. Let's get started with our first series, which honestly I'm really not looking forward to, in Colorado and LA.
Yeah. We said meat and potatoes. That will be next series. This doesn't count.
This is still
I
vegetables.
have Colorado in 2.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah, it's not going to be great, honestly. It's going to be a really boring, really uninteresting series. I'm not looking forward to this. I don't think anyone's going to watch this, but it's fine.
Yeah, you've got Colorado. We already know how good they are. They've got McKinnon. They've got Natchez. 100 points for Natchez as well. McKinnon with 127. McCarr on defense. You've got double Wood in net in Wedgwood and Blackwood against LA, who is without Kevin Fiala. With Kevin Fiala, I think they grab a game, maybe 2. They could still grab a game, but I'm genuinely going Colorado M4. Like, actually, that's my actual pick. they've got Kempe, they've got 40-year-old Kopitar, retirement tour Kopitar, who's still very good. That's a respectful thing. But it's so over for them. It's a 120-point team versus a 90-point team. I don't want to watch LA in the playoffs. I might boycott and just not watch this fucking series.
Yeah, exactly. I do actually have Colorado in 5 legit because I think LA is gonna somehow win a game at home in quadruple overtime, just do whatever.
Overtime win. Oh my god,
that's gonna if they win, it's gonna be an overtime win too.
It pissed me off so bad.
Oh man,
but that's realistic.
You said you might not watch the series. I'm definitely not watching the series. I'm box score watching this entire series. Bro. Shamelessly, I don't want to see any. I don't want to see McKinnon cooking Drew Doughty for 200.
I do want to see Drew Doughty get cooked actually, but I'm not watching anyways.
I don't know, man. Whatever. Moving on. This is a bad series.
Vegas and Utah. This is actually a pretty good series. Unfortunately, the Evil Empire, we do have them winning, both of us. Oh, real quick, we've got the series MVP at the bottom. I've got Natchez. Cole, you have Gabe Landeskog. Fun. Yeah.
I think he's going to cook the Kings. He's going to be like, I'm the better on.
He might just grab 5 goals in those 4 games. You never know. But for the Vegas and Utah series, Eichel for me for the series MVP. He's their best player, I believe. Mark Stone, your favorite player, is the series MVP for you.
Not my favorite. Don't say that. My best player. Don't say he's my favorite player.
Who are?
I had to hash this out. I think Utah's too young, and I think Mark Stone's gonna be like, let me show you guys how to win a playoff series or whatever. I think Jack Eichel is a good shot too. Honestly, I think every veteran player on the Golden Knights are just gonna cook Utah. With that said, I actually have Vegas in 7. Because I think Utah's going to be a scrappy-ass team, and I think they're going to pull away every home game they play.
Here's what I'm going to say.
Vegas.
Because I also think Utah is going to push it to 7. But I think it's going to be not because of their team. They've got, we know who they have. They're Keller, Cooley, Gunther. They've got a decent decor now with Uyghur, Sergachev, Dursey. I think it's going to be because of the veggie man in net, Karel Vejmelka. I think he's going to steal a game or 2. They might go up 2-1 against Vegas in this series, with Vejmelka stealing some games. Vegas doesn't have any goaltending. Vejmelka's clearly the best goalie. He could really steal games or the series for Utah, but I think Utah, like you said, too young. I don't think they're ready to play that physical playoff hockey. They don't have the team build for that. Their decor is a bit more beefy now, but still, I'm taking Vegas for sure in 7.
Really wish it could be Utah.
Really wish it could be Utah.
I have to be a legit predictor here. I have to be unbiased. Have to say it's not going to be Utah, but Utah in the second round, especially cooking if the Oilers beat the Ducks. Utah could, they could do some underdog shit all the way to the conference finals and get cooked there. But I don't think it's going to happen. I think they will get first round and they'll bounce back next year and be a legitimate cup threat in the next couple of years.
Good take. Season 3 or series preview 3, Edmonton and Anaheim. I think Edmonton, honestly, I think it's pretty clear. Yeah. If Lucas Dostal was playing up to the level that he did last year, this series is probably also going to 7, but no fucking way, man. Edmonton just has the experience that the young Anaheim team doesn't. Their time is coming soon. But yeah, no. I think Anaheim will make these games super fun and interesting. This is going to be the speed of these teams is going to be insane. The skill of these teams is going to be insane. I'm excited to see what Leo Carlson, Cutter Gauthier, Beckett Seneca look like in the playoffs. But the Oilers got this one in the bag. Literally would have to be a generational fumble from Tristan Jarry and Connor Ingram for this to go any other way, in my opinion.
I have Edmonton 5, like you said. It's going to be a shootout, except it's pistol versus nuclear bomb type of shootout.
Yeah.
But I think Ducks will be able to steal a game probably again at home. They'll get one. Their young talent will be like, okay, we won our one game against the back-to-back cup losers. We're done. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, I think he's going to cook them because I feel like the top line matchup, they're going to put Carlson, Gauthier, then whoever against that, McDavid, and probably often Draisaitl line, maybe Hyman, maybe Nugent-Hopkins. Once Draisaitl and Hyman get back, but for that reason, and since they're out right now, I think Nugent-Hopkins is going to carry. He's going to be that little bit of depth that the Oilers need. I was considering Matt Savoy here as well for my series MVP.
Shout out, man. What a season.
Good shout. He's a little bit of a McDavid merchant just because he's been playing on that top line with him a lot of time, but he is a very,
What are the Matt
very
Savoy
good player.
numbers this year?
Matt Savoy numbers. We'll get to that in a second. What games do you have? Oilers in?
I have the Oilers in. I think I have them in 6. I have to say, I don't know. I think with Draisaitl being out, this is a closer series early on. This probably is 2-2 after 4, and then Edmonton pulls away in the last 2. I might have it in 5, but I'm pretty sure I have it in 6. Yeah, McDavid's just going to walk these guys. I think if you did some rearranging of the Pacific corner of the bracket and you had Edmonton, Utah, and you had Vegas and Anaheim, the upset potential, the potential for Edmonton and Vegas to go home, and for Anaheim and Utah, the fun teams to move on, way, way higher. Anaheim's a way better matchup for Vegas, and Utah with the goaltending is a way better matchup for Edmonton, in my opinion. But the way that we have it, it's super. I think it's pretty clear that it's going to be Edmonton and Vegas moving on to round 2.
Yeah, and then going back to Matt Savoy, he is 18 and 19 for 37 and 82.
Pretty impressive.
He has played 5 games in the NHL prior to the season, and he jumped straight into just playing mostly top 6 role, 82-game season with the Oilers, who are kind of a dumpster fire right now.
Yeah.
Despite being second in their division. So yeah, shout out him. I think it'll be a fun series, but yeah, Edmonton will dominate.
Yeah, I would say I would also Anaheim's a really good forward core. Shout out Matt Savoy. I'm trying to see which line, what his most common line is. Edmonton likes to move around the lines a lot. Okay, wait. Nope. Here we go. Savoy most commonly played with McDavid and Podkolzin. So yeah, he spent a lot of time with them. He also spent some time lower in the lineup. Good season. Good depth shout. I love you, Matt Savoy. On to series number 4, we have Buffalo and Boston. I said this, I believe, in the last video, that this is going to be the most physical series. I think it's going to be the most violent. These two teams know how to put a beating on others. I've got Dahlin, my glazed Rasmus Dahlin is going to be the series MVP. It looks like you have that as well. Yeah, walk me through this matchup.
Like you said, oh my God, bro. So now that we're getting to the East, every single series here is going to be absolute peak. I'm going to be watching, I wish I could watch all these games at once. Maybe I'll do the ESPN multi-view 4 games at once. Maybe I'll record all of them and watch them into 5 a.m. in the morning every night. Just keep stimming and watching. Yeah, this will be a banger series. I really think it is going to come down to that top talent here because the teams are pretty evenly matched and they're pretty fucking aggressive. So I think they're going to have 5 injured players each at the end of the series. Hopefully not that star talent, the ones getting injured. Those who know Austin Matthews, unfortunate. So yeah, I think this will end up coming down to star talent, despite you said with all that aggression, all that fighting, all that physicality, all that deep, deep hatred of these two teams that they have for each other in this series. And my top talent guy is going to be Rasmus Dahlin here. Yeah. I have Sabres in 7. It's going to be a banger series. I would say this is my personal favorite, but I'm going to say that for the next 4 series as well. So
I think I have the Sabres in 5 or 6. Ooh. I think the Sabres are pretty definitively better. Boston does have that high-end talent, like you said. Pasternak is probably the best player in the series. Swayman, I would say, is the best goalie in the series. Shit, I'm talking myself into Boston winning here pretty much, but not really. The 4th through 8th best players on these teams, if you kind of compare them, Buffalo's got got them beat. I'm pretty sure all the way through. Um, Boston's had a nice, good team year. They have like 8 guys with double-digit goals. It's been fun. But Buffalo's a wagon, man. I love what they've got going on over there, and I think they've got this series relatively comfortably, albeit violently.
Yeah. I would say in a world, if Boston won the series somehow, they'd get swept in the second round because they'd be exhausted. That's kind of what I have.
Yeah, they've got no fucking chance.
They're going to give it all into this series, and for that reason alone, I think they'll take the Sabres to 7. The Sabres are also, this is their first playoff series, so I think it's going to take some time for them to get their legs under them. I could see Boston, maybe even, crazy take, Boston's going to go up 2-0 in the series.
Ooh.
They're going to steal 2 games at home.
Ooh.
They might go up 3-1 in Game 4. I think it's going to be crazy.
That would be peak.
I
got
think it's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
And I kind of want to see it too. And then Buffalo locks in, they realize, okay, we won the division, we're a good team, we've been a good team. This is our first year in the playoffs now. Lock in, they take it. Domination.
Throw it in there, man. I love it. No, we want to see some shit like that in the playoffs. Speaking of shit we want to see in the playoffs, Tampa and Montreal first round series. Fun fact, for those that might forget, this is a Stanley Cup final rematch. No one thinks about that, but it's true. Somehow these two teams played each other in the Stanley Cup finals. Both with 106 points, both just offensive complete units. Both had guys with crazy point totals. If you told me coming into the season that Suzuki was going to get 100, that Caulfield was going to pot 50 goals, that Slavkovsky was going to get 30, I would maybe believe you with Slav, but I'm not believing you on the other two. What a wagon, that top Montreal line. You said last video that Montreal has the best top 6 in the NHL. I would maybe push back. I would say Tampa's top 6 is actually better. But the top line for Montreal, that might be I think production-wise, like well-rounded, all defensive this season, I think that's the best top line in the league. You've got Montreal over Tampa, so say more about this young Canadiens team.
This is glazed. Going back to January, obviously you guys didn't see that, but I had the Lightning losing to the Panthers, which we'll get to in a minute, and for that reason, I said the Lightning were just like too old of a team. I think this is the Canadiens' year to win a series. They got a taste of it last year. I think they're going to be mad. They're going to, it's going to be another shootout type of series, except it's going to be low scoring, just high octane, high pace, high expected goals. Obviously, great goaltending on both teams, and you can see here great goals for, great power plays. All right, penalty kills. So I think it's going to be very offensive. It's going to be goalie driven. Yeah, I don't know, man. I just have Canadiens as my pick. Canadiens in 7 because it is a little bit of bias, but like I said, I think Lightning are going to start to fall off. I think they might not even make the playoffs next year. If they do, they're going to be a wildcard team probably. They're just slowly aging out of the playoffs. And yeah, I want to see Canadiens in round 2, and I want to see Ivan Demidov series MVP here.
Les Habitants winning. For Cole, now I still do have Tampa. I agree with all the things you said about this series being a shootout with not a lot of goals, because like we talked about in our last video, the goaltending will be fantastic. But I still think Tampa is just that team, man. You look at that forward core and you just kind of get shivers down your spine. You're fearful for your life. And then you've got Vasilevsky and net. Now, as you're talking, as you're glazing Montreal, warranted, by the way, I'm thinking, and I'm remembering that Victor Hedman is currently not with the team. It's personal reasons, whatever, we won't go into that, but we have to admit that's super important. Even though they survived and actually thrived with Moser and Radish, thank you. And I believe McDonough is back, and they again that forward core that's definitely notable. I think the series is going to 7. No matter what, this series is going to be my favorite to watch simply because the Wild Star series will be like making me pull my fucking hair out. But this is going to be just the best entertainment value for me. I love both of these teams. This matchup is going to be crazy. This part of the bracket, the Atlantic portion, insane. Love it.
Oh, yeah. Moving on to I didn't say this about the Buffalo and Bruins game, but this will probably be my favorite series here. I don't think anyone with below or more than surface knowledge knows that the Senators are actually a good team, but I'm gonna see a lot of like uneducated puck guesses having the Hurricanes sweep the Senators here, and boy oh boy, here's what I have. It's gonna be Senators in 5, very clearly, very much the better team, is what I would say if they had a goalie.
So true.
The
So
Senators
true.
have the 33rd best goaltending in the league, and it's not really close. They have AHL goaltending. It's so bad. They have Jake Sanderson, like we said in the last video, our defensive defenseman award winner, pretty unanimously. They have a great decor. They have great two-way forwards. Their goaltending just sucks. It's. I don't even know how it's this bad. It shouldn't be this bad. I don't know, man. You talk. I need a minute. It's bad.
Let's talk about how similar these teams are. Great, just as a team, we factor out goaltending. Great two-way game, check. Number 1C, excellent both ends of the ice, leading the team in scoring, check. Taller top line winger, we'll say Fetch for the Canes and Kachuk, check. Again, good like supporting forwards for both teams. You've got Cousins, you have Pinto, you have on the Senators, and then you have Ehlers and Jarvis on the Hurricanes. Check. Great decors, both teams, check. Underwhelming goaltending is the biggest thing. Check. You look at Brandon Bussy's numbers. I believe he has an 890 save percentage on the year, and he's 36-1 because the team defense is so goddamn good on the Hurricanes. Linus Ullmark, even a more tragic case. He's got that huge contract. Again, also had some issues like personal off ice issues this year. We won't go too far into that, but you have to admit, especially at the value, he's been very underwhelming. He's really holding this team back. If you give either of these teams a good goalie, I would have them coming out of the East. And I wouldn't think twice about it. Like, if you give these teams a reliable and good... If you give these teams Dan Vladar, this season's version of Dan Vladar, you could just make an easy case for either of them making it out of the East. Unfortunately, Ottawa and Carolina are going to have to play each other in the first round. I would love to take Ottawa, like you said, but I trust Carolina as a team and their ability to win the first two rounds over Ottawa. And I actually have Carolina in 5. I think Allmark's really going to let them down. This should be a longer series, but I don't think it will be. Unfortunately, maybe I'm a casual.
I have Carolina in 7. I almost said Ottawa. I wanted to say Ottawa.
I really did want
Carolina in 7 because I think Ottawa's going to outplay them every game besides in net. You notice here the Brandon Bussey pick. You see the Brandon Bussey pick for my January Conn Smythe pick. We don't see any mention of him. Not a lick of Brandon Bussey in the Vezina voting or anything else for that matter. Because, like you said, shit regular season, and he's going to step it up for the playoffs. That's my prediction here. I think for the entire playoff series, he's going to be an actual 1A goalie, or only goalie to play. They're not gonna, He's going to play all 16 games from the Hurricanes sweep every series. No, I'm kidding. I think he will step into his role here, and I think he is going to end up stealing a very close Game 7 after the Hurricanes lock in and realize they're about to get first rounded by the Senators. No disrespect. I think it's going to be a very Carolina. They're going to have better goaltending for the first 6 games where they're going to get outplayed. Those are going to split. And then Game 7, they're going to be playing even. And then Brandon Bussey's just going to lock in, and he's going to lock in for the rest of their run.
I love it. Good stuff. For me, for my series MVP, Mr. Svechnikov. Those who know.
Very good shout.
The first round last year, I think he had the most goals in the playoffs. Rantanen took over in the second round, so he did pass him up. But Svech was really good in the playoffs last year, and I think he'll do a similar thing again. He's just gonna absolutely pick Linus Ullmark apart. Canes in cinco for me. Series preview 7, Pittsburgh and Philly.
Ooh.
Jeez, I had these two in the bottom 3 in the entire NHL standings going into this year, and here they are. They're 98-point teams meeting in the first round. What do you have to say about this series?
I think it's going to be banger. I think it's going to be a little more chill, a lot more chill than the Buffalo and Boston series. But they are rivals at the end of the day. Battle for the state of Pennsylvania. You got the younger, more talented winger team in Flyers versus probably the most experienced team in the league in the Penguins. Considering they have that 20-year line of Crosby, Malkin, Rust. They have other guys too, Carlson. Letang. Carlson is my MVP pick here just because he's been having a great season. I think it's going to translate. Pretty simple there. I have Pittsburgh in 6 here. I think Philadelphia is going to steal 2 games, and I think they're going to get outplayed the entire rest of the series. Playoff Sid, the last couple of years it's not been great, but I think against an unexperienced team in the Flyers, he's going to be back to at least um, maybe 75% version of his former self in the last 5 or 6 years. Obviously, he's not going to be Stanley Cup winning version of Sidney Crosby. But I think that entire core, that entire veteran core, is going to outplay the Flyers pretty hard. They're going to be like, hey, you guys aren't good yet. Come back next year. We're getting one last win.
I've got a couple things on this series. Again, I also have Pittsburgh winning. I also have them in 6. Philly should be interesting. They do have the better goaltending, I think. Then I'm in love with their wingers. I think they have a really cool. They're in an interesting state. But this is how this series is gonna go for me. Point A, I think Philly will take a 2-1 series lead, look pretty favorable going into Game 4. They're going to win Games 1 and 3, so they'll have all the advantage. It'll be Philly in Game 4 looking to take that 3-1 stranglehold. It'll be pretty even, and then at some point in Game 4, one of the younger forwards, maybe a defenseman, is just going to kill Ben Kindle. Like, he's going to kill him. And Ben Kindle is going to get hurt. He's going to miss time. And that's going to light something in the Penguins. This series is going to go from, they're rivals. So they're going to play each other in the playoffs. It'll be chippy. But after Ben Kindle gets taken out by Rasmus Ristolainen in Game 4, it's going to get real nasty. And these two teams are really going to show, like, that they're crosstown rivals or cross-state rivals and hate each other. And Pittsburgh's going to win the next 3 straight. They're going to show that experience that their depth guys have. I've got Malkin as a series MVP. You look at his playoff numbers when he won that Conn Smythe. McDavid did pass him up, I would say, but he has the second best playoff performance and playoff season of anyone in the 21st century in 08-09 when they won their first cup. I think he's going to turn back the clock and go point a game in this series again and be the series MVP.
I love that. And good Ben Kindle scapegoat pick. I was looking for a reason for these teams to hate each other, and I think that's the perfect thing.
Yeah,
I think,
I had to pull something out of my hat there.
A shit injury. Ben Kindle, he's not as important. It could easily happen.
Whoa.
To Crosby or Malkin. Hopefully not. It would suck considering Crosby just came back recently. Yeah, I do like that. I think Philly's going to pretty much make a mistake and lighting up someone in a cheap way and getting them injured, and then they're going to get fucked over by Pittsburgh, and the state of Pennsylvania is going to burn down no matter what happens.
Yeah, pretty much either way. All right, and last but not least,
certainly not least,
we do have our series. First things first, I think we have our mid-season brackets.
Yeah. We'll get to the Wild and Stars in a second.
So let's take a look back. You know what? We're going to build the suspense. Let's take a look back here at our mid-season bracket. Mine first. I have a lot of defending to do, and some apologies to make. Again, sorry, Pittsburgh. The Devils are here. The Caps almost made it, so that's not too bad. The Wings should have made it. I don't hate it too much. And again, I had Tampa losing in the first round. I also still think they're frauds. And Florida, again, I think you have an argument, but the Rangers and the Devils are pretty egregious. I had the Rangers winning a playoff series. God damn. Even in January, this was a bad take. We'll just move on. I had Carolina going all the way to the finals. I had Minnesota going all the way to the finals. I had the Sharks making it. What could have been?
Sharks beating the Avalanche.
It would have happened. I swear to God, it would have happened.
Optimistic at the time.
I feel
believed
crazy.
It too, but now it's.
It was super, super optimistic at the time, but we got to a point where we were at like game 74. San Jose was a wild card too. It was all coming together. San Jose had that momentum. They had that big win against Anaheim where they won in regulation after being down 2 to their division rival, also fighting for a playoff spot. I was like, oh my God, this is going to be the moment. They're going to win out. Then they're going to play Colorado with all its momentum. I think Colorado is fraudulent, and they're going to show them the President's Trophy curse, and they're going to beat them. I really thought it was going to happen, and it didn't. So that's not going to age well.
Tragic.
But still my favorite pick of the season. And I had Carolina coming out of the East. I had Florida in the conference finals. I had the Oilers coming out and playing the Wild in the conference finals, and I had the Wild coming out of the West playing the Canes in the finals, and the Wild winning. We'll see how those predictions age. That's mine. Cool.
So, I'd like to say mine is slightly better. I correctly have the
yeah, it is.
I correctly have the Avalanche and the Kings. The Oilers in Vegas. It's a second round matchup. Probably.
You also correctly have the Wild in Dallas. Good shout. Good work.
We both had Wild beating Dallas for home ice. and beating Dallas. But yeah, no home ice unfortunately. The Wild are actually better historically not having home ice, which is weird. I don't know, bro. The Wild are
We've
a
never
weird
had
team.
home ice, I feel like.
We've
Oh, we had it against St. Louis.
we're 0-4 having home ice, and we're 4-9 having not home ice all time.
Valid.
So
there you go.
I guess it's fine.
Fact checked, liberal.
Anaheim Sharks would have been great. Oilers Knights would have been great. So one of them gets eliminated. Then going to the East, I want you guys to look at that Sabres in the conference finals prediction. The Sabres were like dead last in their division at
Remember
the time,
that.
or they were just heating up. I don't think they were dead last. I think they were like
they had
sixth
started
in
to
their
heat
division.
up.
They were heating up. They'd gone on a win streak, as we said this, but they were still well out of the playoffs. There was no talk of them. I was like, you know what? The Sabres are making the conference finals.
Wow.
And here we are.
Here we are. Now that looks like that
Good
could
chance
like
of that.
feasibly happen. Good shout.
Like I
Respect.
said, Lightning losing to the Panthers. If the Panthers did make this would have been great to see. I'm glad they didn't. Devils and Flyers. Devils, yeah. Blue Jackets, almost kind of like the Sharks.
They
of the
sold.
East. But yeah, I think mine's not as bad as none of the Rangers.
That's such a shit shout,
Blue Jackets
man.
were almost there, but the takeaway in the East is we both had the Devils and we both had the Panthers, and I think we were both going off a little bit of prior experience bias there. We were kind of assuming they were just locks, despite not even. I think the Devils were a wild card team at the time.
Yeah, they were close.
But the Panthers were always bad this entire season, and we just gave them reputation picks, reputation series wins too. Canes and Avalanche in the finals with the Canes winning. I don't think that's crazy.
No, not at all.
I think that's actually the most cookie cutter pick is Canes beating Avalanche in the finals.
You could argue Lightning and Avs, but this is like
Lightning
top
Avs, too.
3 most cookie cutter.
Yeah.
But it's not. You know what? You know what I was looking at and I saw? Where's Pittsburgh in your list? Since you're such a Pittsburgh believer. You know?
I do need to go to that too. I am a
I convinced him. I converted him.
It's being revealed now that I'm a Pittsburgh Penguins LARPer. I was not a believer until Dylan was not a believer. Then I'm like, okay, I am a believer now just because I have to
piss me off.
feel like shit for not believing in the Penguins.
It worked.
Notice Anaheim Ducks and Buffalo Sabres conference final as well. Would like to mention that.
That is super fun. Those would be so fun to see those teams in the conference finals. Unfortunately, it looks like neither of us think that that's going to happen. But yeah, those are our predictions from January. Now that the suspense is built, we still have one more thing. Who should start game 1? Let's take a look at this here, because there's some interesting stuff. So just for context, in the bottom right, Wallstedt's record is 18-9-6. He had a 258 GAA, 2.58, and a 916 save percentage. And his final total for goals saved above expected on the year was 6.2, with about 0.2 goals saved above expected per 60. Just because the camera might be covering those up. But yeah, look at these last 5 starts, and this isn't in order, by the way. I did leave out Vancouver kind of inconveniently. Gus was fine in that game. I think he was like positive 0.04. That was like his only solid start of the run against literally an AHL team.
We're cherry picking and snakes.
A little bit of cherry picking going on here. But look at that, -3 goal save above expected versus Dallas. Literally lost us the game. Almost -2 against St. Louis. Pretty much lost us the game, even though we didn't really have a good team in front of them. -2 against Boston. -1.5 against Detroit. We should have won that game comfortably. And -1 against Tampa. His blunder, like we talked about last episode, cost us that game. Down the stretch, you could argue Philip Gustafson's the reason we're starting game 1 on the road, which might be preferred. But yeah, maybe he did that on purpose. And just you come into game 1 when he's like this, you're like, okay, well, what's the other guy doing? The exact opposite. Against Seattle, he goes 1 goal saved above expected. He was great there. Nothing super phenomenal. Against Nashville, there's your outlier. He was a little slightly negative, but the offense put up 1 goal in front of him, so you're gonna lose that game. Anaheim carries +3 goals saved above expected, wins the game for us. Against Florida, holds his own against the mighty Danil Tarasov, and puts up basically the same exact goals allowed. That's fine. And then against Ottawa, again, you can argue he won us that game too. The last 5 goals saved above expected is about a 14 goal swing, almost 15 between Gus and Jesper Wallstedt. -2 goals saved above expected per 60 for Gus, whereas +1 per 60 per game. That's the difference.
That's a 3-goal difference.
That's huge. Like, take that into a playoff series. With that being said, go ahead. Game 1. Who's starting?
I think
If you're the GM.
So, not even as the GM, I think Gustafson should still start game one because I think if they don't start him, he's going to lose his mental for at least the entire series. And if they go further, he's going to lose it for the entire playoffs. I think just because of that, they need to start him. I don't think they should. Like,
Hmm.
logically, they shouldn't. But I think just for Gustafson himself, even if they lose game one, I think he needs to start it just so he can get back to it.
Yeah.
We saw Gustafson game one against that Dallas series, 22-23, insane, set records for the franchise. Um, and he's been good the majority of the season. He gets hot and he gets cold. And I just have to hope that we throw him in for game one and he gets hot there. But everything points to Wallstedt. Like, if you don't know anything about this, even if you do know something about this, you're going to say Wallstedt game one. But I think for Gustafson individually, they need to throw away game one just so we can get back into it, and I really hope that happens.
Here we go. Philip Gustafson has played 11 playoff games, and he's sitting at about a 917, 918 save percentage clip. That's pretty. That's very impressive. He's a good playoff goalie. I was really hoping you were gonna argue for Wallstedt, and it's a very valid argument because I also think it's Gus game one.
Yeah.
In a perfect world, it is Wallstedt that starts, but you make a good point about the mental side of it. He needs that, and I just think he steps it up in the playoffs. I think he's like it's like Ryan Hartman. I think it's that level of just steps it up in the playoffs. He's like a 9-11 for his career in the regular season, 9-18 in the playoffs. That's a decent jump. And he's put on some impressive performances against Vegas. He looked really good. He looked like the better goalie against Dallas, like we said. Put the team on his back. Game one. Other points in the series, he was our best player. I think it should be Philip. I think that you have a really strong argument for Philip Gustafson to start game one, despite all these numbers that we laid out for you.
But with that said, if this doesn't happen, Wallstedt is not even touching the playoffs the entire series.
Yeah,
He is a rookie goalie at the end of the day. He hasn't played. He hasn't even played against the Stars. Gus, I believe, started all 4 games in the
sounds
regular
right.
season.
He did.
Um, so I don't know. Even with this, Wallstedt might not play a game. Who knows? Wallstedt could start both games. He could not play anything. We don't know what's gonna happen because goaltending, like we both said, is a very mental thing. It's very hard to judge too. Um, Honestly, they might go into game one and they might just ask Gus and Wallstedt individually, "Do you want to start?" That might be how
I
they
don't
do
think it's
it.
even been revealed yet who is starting. Would you like to run through a little scenario with me here?
Let's hear it.
All right, game one. Unfortunately, the Wild lose, so we know this isn't going to happen already. But game one, the Wild lose. Gus puts up like a -1, -1.2 goal save above expected. He's a part of the problem, but he's not like the root cause. Maybe. Do you go to Wallstedt there right away for game two?
Ooh. So I did say that we put him in game one. He's gonna lose to get his mental back, and I just saying that he has like a bad goal save above expected. It's not entirely his fault, but it is his fault. And it's like you already shouldn't be starting him in game one, and then to put him in game two, I still it's like I'm pulling teeth here, but I still start Gus game two, and then I start him game three, unless he loses game two as well. I think they're gonna. So here's my prediction: they're gonna lose game one with Gus. They're gonna win game one with Gus. It's gonna be another bad showing, but they're gonna get carried by Vladimir Tarasenko and Bobby Brink, assuming he plays. I don't
Have
know.
fun.
Something's gonna happen in
That's
their
super
forward
realistic,
core
actually.
to carry Gus through that game too. Then they're gonna sit him. They're gonna be like, okay, we gave you 2 chances.
You
You
sucked.
couldn't get it. We're gonna start Wallstedt. Wallstedt's gonna have a phenomenal performance, like literally like 4 or 5 goals. No, not that much.
Okay,
like
but a
3 goals
crazy
saved
number.
above expected.
Yeah.
He's gonna win. They're gonna win game four too, but Wallstedt's gonna fall off. He's gonna go from like 3 to like -0.5. Not that bad, but it's gonna be a very noticeable, consistent fall off through all 6 periods of gameplay. And they're gonna go back to Gus, and he's gonna be locked in.
That's
I'm
interesting.
not gonna spoil anything after game four, but that's honestly how I believe it will go.
I could see it being a thing where Gus is bad in game one, they go to Wallstedt. He's great, and like you said, he's really good in the first game, and then he's not as good in the second game, and then they go back to Gus and he locks in. But I think if you're flip flopping that much, especially a little bit unwarranted in this scenario, I genuinely think that's borderline like gross negligence and malpractice because then at that point you're just fucking with everybody's heads, and goalie is such a big mental thing. I don't know. I think you got to like make your pick early on and kind of stick with it. Unless someone genuinely has like a generationally bad performance. Like if Gus is bad in game 1 and you go to Wallstead, fucking stick with it unless he has a terrible game. If Wallstead has a terrible game, go back to Gus. But even if he has just like a game and you guys are losing, like I don't know, you kind of have to ride that maybe. You kind of stand on your decision. If it's like if you lose the next 3 after barely winning game 1 of a bad Gus performance, you can whatever. But yeah, there's a lot we'll cut it here with the goalies. A lot of stuff that could happen.
We don't know. There's a lot of shouts. You could say literally anything, and it could happen, and it could also be the worst take of all time. I do think mine is a little outlandish, and I agree. Pretty much, I think every other team in the league is going to have one goalie they're going to play for the entire playoffs, besides the Wild, maybe
Edmonton
Avalanche too,
that
and
likes
Edmonton.
yeah.
But most goalies most teams will at least have a clear 1A, and Gus should be our clear 1A, except for these last stretch of games.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. It's all guessing.
It is
guessing.
All right. Here we go. Series numero ocho. We've got Dallas and Minnesota. The Wild logo in the middle kind of spoils it, honestly. We both have Minnesota. Trash versus a treasure. My MVP is Quinn Hughes, and yours is just for Wallstedt. Fun. Speaking of the GOAT. All right, let's go in depth here. What's happening in this series?
So I like to go with my MVP here first. Despite Wallstedt only playing 2 games, if it was a real award, he wouldn't be getting the MVP, but I think he's going to be the reason that Gus is able to lock in. Like I said earlier, with that scenario, that delusional scenario, I think will happen. And because of just those 2 games, honestly, just one good game, I think he's going to be the reason Gus is able to play good again. I think that's why they're going to win.
Nice.
Spoiler. So yeah, kind of weird. My goalie fantasy for this series is really weird. But overall, going back into that more in depth, they lose game 1, they win game 2, 3, 4 at home. They ride the momentum. They go crazy. They go back to Dallas. They get fucking blown out. They get destroyed.
Holy shit.
They get shut out. They get like fucked. Maybe someone goes out for the game, comes back next game, but like something crazy happens. I don't know. Dallas is like, okay, we're reverse sweeping the shit out of this. Well, not really, but
yeah,
3 in a
we're
row.
back in.
It's gonna be crazy. And then Minnesota wins game 6 in overtime.
Ooh.
For the series winner.
Oh, Vegas flashbacks. Don't talk about playoff overtime.
They're gonna go up early in game 6. Dallas is gonna come back. They're gonna claw back. It's gonna be like, oh shit, we need to win this, because if it goes to game 7 with Dallas getting this much momentum, they're gonna win because they're gonna be at home. So Minnesota finally locks in. They choke the regulation win, but they finally get it in overtime. They finally overcome their hurdle of going out in the first series against Dallas, against Vegas, against whoever, and they finally pulled away in game 6. And Ottinger, he legally changes his residency to like Orlando, Florida or something. I don't know.
That would be so beautiful. Drag the foot, Gustav Nyquist. I just really, I'm not past this. Like, I want everyone to realize if he does that, we win that series. The pressure of getting past the first round is off our backs with, like, Quinn Hughes. Like, I feel like if we win last year and we don't win this year, Quinn Hughes is staying anyways, like, pretty much 100%. That's not the case right now, I don't think. And that sucks. I mean, I still think he'll stay, but whatever. Fuck you, man. Anyways, to this year's playoff series, I'm going to go, I just think the Wild are such a game 1 win type of team. And I'm going to go with that. I think we win game 1. It's going to be peak. I think that's going to be the best game of the entire playoffs. It's going to be game 1. Physicality, everything. It's going to be like the game that we saw a month ago, except good goaltending, or better goaltending on both ends. I'll go 3-2 Wild win. Late goal by Vladimir Tarasenko. Shout out, I'm stealing his idea. Shout out, bro. And then Dallas takes game 2. I think we're going to trade the first 4. Dallas takes 2 and 4. We take 1 and 3. And then we take 5 and 6. I think we're going to stun in game 5. Overtime winner. We maybe get a late game tying goal that kind of shocks the crowd into silence, and we ride the momentum in OT. Ryan Hartman is scoring that goal for sure. He's probably scoring the game tying goal too.
Ryan Hartman's putting up like 1.5 points per game this series.
He's gonna go off.
Nearly a goal per game.
I should have put him as my series MVP instead of Quinn Hughes. Like, honestly, if we're being real.
Honestly, we should have both done that.
And then Game 6, I think we just like 5-1 win. To close it out. I'm pretty comfortable, especially with Rupe Hintz being hurt. He's gonna miss at least the first 2 games. I'm pretty sure that's the quote from from Dallas's head coach. Heiskanen doesn't seem to be 100%. If Hintz comes back, he won't be 100%. If I wish Dallas was healthy because this series would 100,000% go to 7 and be way better. It's not like it's gonna be bad anyways, but I think the Wild hope the Wild have this in the bag. They should because of Dallas's injuries. On paper, that's not the case with Ryan Hartman, as everyone see, but people don't know Wall if they don't know how good Ryan Hartman is in the playoffs.
Ask a Blues fan.
Yep, even ask a Vegas fan, man. Honestly, but Quinn Hughes is my MVP, and I did want to talk a little bit about Quinn Hughes and what he's going to need to do in the playoffs here.
Let's hear it because he's your MVP pick. I already went over Wallstedt. Kind of a weak pick, just a little bit of glaze there. But let's hear the Hughes pick.
I think the X factor that's really going to help us is going to be our power play. It's not like we're going to get it a ton, but when we do, we're going to score. I think we're going to be over 30% on the power play against Dallas, and that's what's going to push us over the edge. It's going to be it's super even 5-on-5. Obviously, Dallas's power play is going to cook too, but I think we're going to keep them to right around 20, which would be below their average for the season. That'd be great work from us.
Probably less chances too.
Yeah. And they will have less chances. Like you said, we don't take a lot of penalties, but I think we're the least penalized team in the league. That's what they kept saying all year on the broadcasts. And we're going to get a bunch. Dallas, I think they take some careless penalties. I think they're mentally weaker as a team. Yeah, go fuck yourself. You heard what I said.
If you have Wyatt Johnson on your team, that's
you have to be.
Drops multiple percent.
Quinn Hughes is going to cook on the power play. I think he's going to cook 5-on-5. Dude might have a 6-game series, 10 points, we'll say. Ooh. And we'll say 3 goals as well, which for him, half a goal a game is crazy. After the year he just had, he barely had 3 goals for us in the regular season. So we'll do that.
That's not crazy in general, but for this season, that's crazy. So I do like that.
Yeah, he'll be my series MVP. And then what type of numbers does he need to put up for us to win this series, in your opinion? That's where I was going to go with that.
You said 10. I think saying point per game is pretty basic. So I'm going to say instead of point per game, we're not going to care about points. I'm just going to say Quinn Hughes needs 2 goals for this series.
Ooh, okay, nice.
That's what I'm saying. I don't care how many assists he gets. He's going to be a presence no matter what. Like you said, I don't think the assists are going to matter. Quinn Hughes getting on the board for like a primary, secondary assist on the power play, whatever. It's not going to do anything. A Quinn Hughes goal or 2, which is what we need, I think is going to be what sparks the team and sparks the fans too, gets the building jumping when we play our home games. So I'm going to say that.
So if Quinn Hughes scores under 2 goals in the playoff in this series, it's more likely that we lose, or the odds of us losing are increased greatly.
If he doesn't score, we're losing. If he scores 1, it's going to 7. It's going to be very, 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 very bad.
There we go.
But I think he's going to score 2 or more, probably 2, and that's why I think we're going to win 6.
I'm going to go, he needs to be point per game -1. So, like, if the 6-game series, he needs at least 5 points. 7-game series, he needs at least 6. If he's anything under that, where his production is like lower than it needs to be, we are in trouble offensively there because of how much he drives the play. I'm not worried about that, but that's just the reality of it, I think. What does that say about our power play too? And defensively, I need him to be good as well. I need him to be on top of his game on both ends of the ice if we're going to win this series. An injured Dallas is still Dallas. They're still a wagon. And we need Quinn Hughes to be like this Hart Trophy type of guy if we want to be the better team. And I see it being possible. And in fact, I see it being pretty probable. I've got Minnesota winning. And that's largely because of the performance I think Quinn Hughes will put up.
And now my last X factor here. We've talked about those guys. We know Faber's going to be good. We know Brodin and Spurgeon are going to be good. We talked about Hartman. We know X is going to be good. We know Boldy and Kaprizov are going to be good. They're playoff performers. Who am I missing in that top group?
I have a feeling. Oh, Marcus Johansson.
Marcus Johansson, too. I forgot.
Okay, you're missing Learov.
I meant Matt Zuccarello.
Oh, fuck.
I was implying there.
Wow, blank.
Matt Zuccarello, I think, is going to be another big wild card here. Because I don't think that Dallas D-core, led by Heiskanen, Lindell, etc., Hintz when he comes back, I don't think they're going to let Zuccarello just feed Kaprizov, especially on the power play. So Kaprizov is going to cook, obviously, but Zuccarello, to perform, to help the Wild forward core win, he's going to need to do a lot of stuff on his own and not just rely on Kaprizov. What do you think about that?
That's valid. I think that they still plan on having the same top six that they've had all year.
Yeah,
I would
I don't mean not on the same line. I just think Zuccarello's gonna be needs to be more selfish. Need to drive the play more
need to
on his
shoot
own.
the damn puck.
Shoot the damn puck.
God,
Don't look for Kaprizov every chance. Do it when it's available. But like if you get a pass in front of the paint, you don't need to do a no like backhand to Kaprizov. You need to shoot it. If you're like down the slot with a relatively clear shot and Kaprizov's like double covered on the other side, you need to take that shot.
yeah,
Um, and I think with Hartman playing better too, it's gonna help. Obviously, if the top line's playing better, the top
yes,
line's
yeah,
gonna
no
be
shit.
better. But I think that will make Zuccarello less reliant on Kaprizov because I think in part, if they had a better center in the regular season, they won't be as reliant on each other, or Zuccarello as reliant on Kaprizov, if that makes sense.
For sure. Yeah,
So I need Zuccarello. This is a crazy shout. I need Zuccarello point per game -1 as well.
yeah. No, that's. I think that's fair. I think that's actually a very good shout. I would also say Johansson just because down the stretch he went from being like a 60-point pace guy to like a 40-point pace guy. I need him to be that tertiary player that we know he can be and that he usually is. He needs to be very good. You need Tarasenko and whoever else is on that third line, Urov and blank. To sprinkle it in. The fourth line, just do your thing. I think they're going to be the most annoying line in the series. You need Kaprizov to put up more than one goal than he did in that last. I think he shouldn't have an issue with that, especially if they start putting him with Boldy. You've got him on that power play with Hughes and Boldy. But like you said, I'm not really worried about him or Boldy or Eck or Hartman. I think, and then if you look at the top six on paper, it's Johansson and Zuccarello that I really need to see a lot out of, and that's a great shout for X Factor for the series.
Yeah, and then going in general, comparing this, since we've mentioned pretty much like every video about that 22-23 series, we have, besides these last 10 games, we have better goaltending in the fact that Gus is probably slightly better overall, and now we have Wallstedt too, just in case. Our decor, way better. Faber's better now. We have Hughes, and the rest is pretty much the same. Spurgeon and Brodin look the same as they did 4 years ago, maybe better since they're less injured this year. I don't think that's crazy to say. I think the bottom six D pair is going to be a little questionable if it's Middleton and whoever, Petrie, Bogosian, or Hunt, Bogosian, Petrie. I don't know. I don't think they're going to see many minutes at all. And I think that'll be fine. And then I think our forward core, our top 9, it's the same, I think, in terms of personnel, but I think in terms of how they're playing the season, it's way better. And I think our fourth line is way better too. It's way more physical. So, yeah, I think we can actually easily win the series.
Mm-hmm. That's not crazy to say. You could also say Dallas could easily win the series. I mean, it's not crazy to say.
Not easily in terms of we're going to roll them over. Obviously, we're not, but I think I'm easly saying Minnesota.
You're comfortable saying that.
Yeah, kind of like what I mentioned with the Sweden and U.S. Quarterfinals game in the Olympics. I said it was going to be U.S. in overtime against Sweden, which it was, and I said it's going to be very, very close, but I will take them 100% of the time. That's what I'm going here with this series as well.
I love it. We need that confidence. I will go to your comparing 2023 versus 2026. Like you said, same top 9, but better. I would agree. In fact, I'd say actually the top 9 is a lot better now. Tarasenko is probably like the 5th best player on that 23 forward core. Probably the 4th or 3rd most productive on that 23 forward core. Boldy in the playoffs, people do not remember, but he was invisible in the playoffs, and he got like called out for it in the offseason and all that, and he's been great ever since. Yada yada yada. But Tarasenko, yeah, we're gonna need a lot from him, like we saw in the regular season. Decor, way better. I would argue that Spurgeon compared to 4 years ago is actually worse. I think he's starting to decline.
Yeah.
But the decline is not that serious. He still fits his role very well.
He's healthy.
And he's healthy. Exactly. It pretty much cancels itself out. So, and Brodin, just steady Eddie over there. And then Jake Middleton is like the 5th and 6th defenseman. I don't know about 6th, but 5th defenseman, such an upgrade. I think Jake Middleton, I don't remember if he was, I think he was on the team in 23. He was. Yeah, and I think he's way better now than then.
No, it wasn't, but he was on the team, yeah. Yeah,
and I think he's better now than then, especially on the 5th versus 4th or 3rd, like you said, defenseman. And then, I just like our decor more and goaltending. Even a little bit better with Wallstedt there as insurance versus Marc-Andre Fleury.
And then for Dallas, their goaltending is the exact same, basically. I don't think Ottinger's gotten better or worse, honestly.
This year is worse.
They're worse this season, yeah, but I think overall it's
Right.
a goalie. Decor worse just because Hintz is injured. That's it. Otherwise, I feel like it's the exact same. Maybe slightly better. Maybe Haskinen's gotten a little better, but I haven't really noticed too much of a difference. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I don't know Dallas puck, which I don't.
Hintz is a center.
Why would
it happened again?
It's the Tomas Hurdle case on the Vegas Golden Knights. I don't know why I think Hintz is a defense.
Something with two-way centers that start with H.
It really is.
Either way, though, point stands. No, you're good.
Anyways, not the D core, the forward core being injured, but I think having Rantanen cancels out, unfortunately.
Fully.
Wyatt Johnston, Jason Robertson, they're entering their primes, whatever. Jason Robertson's good, but Wyatt Johnston would keep him out of the power play. He does nothing. Justin Ritzkovian, I don't know. He's cool, I guess. Not cool, but
we're gonna hate
decent.
him in 2 weeks.
We're gonna
hate him so much.
Yeah, I would say what I'm getting at, Dallas D-core, the same. Goaltending, the same. Forward core is slightly better, but injured. So right now, the same. Matt Duchene, too. Didn't even mention that. He's injured. So I would say until Hintz comes back that the forward core is significantly worse, and they're about the same when Hintz comes back. So yeah, Dallas, pretty much the same. Wild, huge upgrade.
For sure. There you go. That's all you need to see.
That's the series.
One more thing. We've been trashing Wyatt Johnston, like this video and the last one. I think by the end of this series, he will not be the most hated. I think Mikko Rantanen will be the most hated player. Just seeing what he did to Quinn Hughes at the end of that game, like a foot taller than him, and he's throwing him around. And he is a dirty little shit. Like this year, he got suspended and fined separate occasions, both dirty.
You know what's bad when you got Matt Boldy throwing down punches on?
I think it was Thomas Harley.
On Harley on the ice. That's who I was thinking of when I said Hintz. I meant
Thomas Harley.
I was thinking of Harley.
And Harley was elbowing him in that pile that caused that. Yeah, that was crazy. This series is gonna be a bloodbath.
It's gonna be peak.
But I think we've milked that cow for now. We're gonna move on to the entire bracket, I believe, and yours is first. Yeah. So let's see it. Oh, that's me first. Shit.
That is Stone first. Let's see.
All right.
Oh boy.
All right.
Oh boy.
There you go. Jump scare.
We can skim over the West.
Where do you want to start?
So I knew you were gonna have Wild in the Cup. I had a feeling you had him still winning. Literally everything else in the West makes perfect sense to me. I think I had it the same way as well. I don't fully remember.
We had the same 4 winners for the first round, and then the second. Yeah.
Yeah. So the West, whatever. I knew you had the Wild, so nothing to talk about there. I
had a feeling it would go like this. The West.
Penguins beating the Hurricanes in the second round to make it to the conference finals.
I think I have a very strong argument for this. Do you ready to hear it?
Sure.
Okay.
Let's hear this.
Do you remember when we talked about Ottawa and Carolina in the first round? We talked about their goaltending was bad.
Yes.
I think your Conn Smythe winner, Brandon Bussey, is going to fall apart. The mighty Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin. I was out on Pittsburgh. I have to lean all the way in the opposite direction here. I have them in the conference finals. I think Crosby's going to show his levels, show his historic dominance in the playoffs in particular as well. And he's going to take over that series. Erik Karlsson also should be pretty productive. I think Carolina just doesn't have it. They don't have that in them. And I think Crosby alone does enough that they will be able to overtake them. Their forward core is solid enough. They're going to need some good performances from their goalie tandem. I will say that. But I've got them beating Carolina. I think Carolina are fraudulent as shit, honestly.
And how many games is this series going to be in?
We'll say 6. It'll be 6.
6.
Okay. I think Carolina, I mean, you look at their points. Every regular season we do it. They're such a good regular season team. Two-way games, great. But right now they don't have any goaltending. And at the deadline, what did they do? They added Nicolas Deslauriers for like a 4th liner for a dude that can beat somebody up. They don't have a second-line center. Right now it's Logan Stankoven. He's fine. He's a good young player. He is actually very good in the playoffs, but no, that's not going to cut it. Not against Sidney Crosby, it's not. So yeah, Sidney Crosby, I have the Pens in 5, by the way, not 6, over Philly. Ottawa is going to lose to Carolina in 5. I have Tampa in 7 over the Canadiens, and I have Buffalo in 5. I think they're just way better than Boston. I might have said 6 earlier. In the second round, Buffalo and Tampa, there's my other upset.
I do like the Buffalo one.
It's not such a huge upset, but I also think Tampa's fraudulent. If Buffalo can just get decent goaltending, they got that in the bag. I've got that in 7 though. That series is gonna be insane. We saw how much those teams hate each other earlier in the season. That's gonna be such a fun series.
Yeah, I had them. Obviously, I had Tampa getting first rounded by Canadians. I think Tampa, if they do make it to the second round, it's gonna be an insane series. If they get beaten out in the first round, that's gonna be an insane series. And I think Habs and Sabres will be a little more of a Mickey Mouse series, but it'll make the first round better. It'll make the conference finals better. I don't know. I love the Buffalo pick.
As long as Boston loses, I think this top right of the bracket is peak. You can't go wrong.
That's all we need. And that's I think that's the most guaranteed thing to happen in the East, despite how violent that series is going to be. I think Buffalo, like we said, Buffalo's just way better. And Buffalo they go from what, a 12-year playoff drought or something to getting to the Cup.
The Cup final. The Buffalo Sabres and the Minnesota Wild are going to play in the Stanley Cup finals. Everyone get ready for that.
I don't even want to talk about the Sabres and the Pittsburgh series. So what do you have? Just really quick, how many games is that going to be in?
Sabres and Pittsburgh. That's going to be a 7-game series.
That's going to be 7 too. So another close one. Enough of the Penguins, man.
Nah. I believe.
The LARP is.
I'm switching up. That is full LARP, but I believe. And
my LARP is ending. My LARP ends after the first round.
Spoiler alert. The West, like we said, pretty normal. I would like to talk about Minnesota, Colorado, though. Honestly, I just have a feeling about Colorado. It's not so much that they're frauds like most of the teams in the East. I just think that, maybe it's the President's Trophy curse. Maybe it's Nathan McKinnon coming up not clutch in the big moments in the Olympics. I just have a funky feeling about them, man. I don't think this is their year. I don't think they're going to do it. I think we're going to be the team that does it. And then against the Oilers, we're like their nightmare matchup. Jonas Brodin is going to... playoff Connor McDavid. He'll still be point a game. Just fine. It'll probably be a 6 or 7 game series. We'll say 7. And McDavid will probably still get 9 or 10 points. But there's just going to be parts of each game where he's just erased from existence by Jonas Brodin, particularly 5-on-5. We don't know what Leon Draisaitl's looking like, but I don't care. The Oilers are just the team in the Pacific, goaltending or not. They're just such a wagon. You've got McDavid and playoff Evan Bouchard. I won't hear it.
I won't say anything.
I won't hear it.
Just keep talking.
He's a beast. I think they're going to handle the Ducks in 5 games. And then Vegas, now we're talking fraud again, and they're going to beat Vegas. Honestly, I'd put that as a sweep. The sooner Vegas is done, the better.
I like that.
And then Minnesota is going to be the team that undoes them. The Wild have a warpath to the Cup Finals, man. If you asked 20 random people from different areas of the world, the 3 best teams in the West, the Wild are beating those 3 best teams in Dallas, Colorado, and Edmonton. And then they're going to be Buffalo in the finals, and that series is going to be super awesome. I wish it was the Penguins. Not really.
Making shit up now.
No, that series is going to be awesome. And Matt Boldy, spoiler, is my Conn Smythe.
I do like that.
Any other comments on my bracket?
No, I would like to mention to you about the McDavid point per game. I remember seeing a graphic, I think maybe last season, when McDavid the Oilers got shut out by the Wild. I think it was 1-0. Obviously, McDavid didn't have a point. That was this season.
Yeah.
Historically, McDavid has the second lowest point per game against the Wild, and guess who's first?
Yes, I was going to say if you weren't. It's Buffalo.
Yes. Buffalo and Minnesota.
The two teams that are going to play in the Stanley Cup final.
The Oilers are going to see the teams they suck against the most play each other in the finals. That's going to be great.
Super awesome.
Moving on.
To your bracket, maybe a little more normal? Is that my guess?
Bit,
a little bit? Okay, sure. There we go.
So as we can see here, the only changes in my bracket are the Canes being the Penguins and the Habs being the Lightning.
And and Buffalo not being in the Cup final.
Yes.
But that's fine. And you have the Canes
Wild
winning.
not winning. Yeah, you can see here if you flip back and forth between slides, there's 3 different things. Look
it doesn't look that different, guys.
The entire West is the same. We know the West will be like that. We know the results are gonna happen.
Yeah.
Quick note, I agree with the Avalanche series. I agree with the Oilers series. I think it's gonna be Oilers in 6 against Vegas.
That's far more realistic, I'll be honest.
I would love to see Vegas get swept. I also don't want to see the Oilers in the conference finals, besides the fact that we're a good matchup for them. I think they're frauds.
Yeah.
Because they just have McDavid, Savoy.
Best available, though.
I don't know. Best available
of that
Pacific.
brand.
That's not Utah because Utah's not going to make it. They can't make it. They're not good enough yet. Um,
That might age
yeah,
well.
I think I would love it to age
I
well.
would love it to age well.
Yeah, my bracket is just Dylan's except Habs Glaze and then more normal cup pick. I have the Hurricanes. Well, we'll give the Penguins a game. Hurricanes in 5.
You're not very
Sabres-
bullish on the Penguins.
Not anymore.
No.
The LARP's over.
All right. fair
My
enough.
sweep, unfortunately, is going to be Sabres
No.
over Canadians.
No, I can't let that stand. All right.
It's going to happen. I know I was just shitting on you for Sabres getting to the Cup Finals after the longest drought in the NHL. But despite being a new team to the playoffs, seeing them here feels so right.
It does.
And it feels like they've been there so long. And I think Canadians, they take this step. They win a series. But they're not ready yet.
Nope.
Next year. They make the Cup next year, honestly. I can see it. They make the Conference Finals for sure next year. But this year, just not yet. They just need a little bit more time. A little bit more time to cook. They're still the youngest team in the NHL. They got younger this year.
And they might next year with Michael Hage joining the team. Maybe some of the other guys make the leap as well, Zarovsky or Reinbacher. Yeah, I don't know. I like that. I think
the Sabres will tear them apart.
surely you have the Sabres beating Montreal in
4.
and fuck. But that'd be such a fun series. Those are the 2 best venues in the league.
It would be fun.
my opinion.
I would love for it to go 7, but my gut, assuming... See, we need to go over the fact that Canadians will most likely not even beat the Lightning. That's my bias pick there.
Fair.
I feel like I'm being generous, giving them a second round matchup. So I think they're going to be tired as fuck. I think Buffalo's going to be like hungry as fuck for more after beating Boston and be like, okay, we need to like prove that we're not frauds after finally getting in, barely beating Boston. They're scrappy, but Boston's probably the 3rd worst team here. The Penguins well, we don't need to talk about the Penguins because you have them in the conference finals, but I think it's Boston, Pittsburgh, Flyers, comfortably the worst 3 teams in the playoffs here. So I think the Sabres are going to be like, okay, we need to beat down on a lesser experienced team to show them how it's done. They're going to do that Canadians. And then they're going to get fucked by the Hurricanes in 5 or 6 as well. I don't think that series is going to 7. And then I have Hurricanes beating the Wild in the Cup Finals. Unfortunately, I do have them going to 7 games with the Hurricanes winning. Brandon Bussey legacy playoff run. That's what I'm banking on the whole way through.
Yeah.
That's why they're beating the Sabres.
That's why they're beating the Penguins, by the way.
That's why. Sure. Whatever. Stop rage baiting my bracket. Yeah. Basically, to note here, the East is whatever. I don't even know. And then the West is just like there's 2 total possible outcomes for the West.
My bracket, admittedly, is a little bit troll. It's a little bit
You cannot say Penguins winning 2 series is not troll.
But I actually I can see once the East was set in stone, this came into my head. I knew I was gonna do a bracket and I had this in my head and I'm sticking to my guns. I feel pretty confident that it can happen. Will it happen? Probably not likely.
It can.
But I think it can, and I'll back it. I'll back it to happen. I think the East, honestly, is up for grabs. Tampa.
It's gonna be so fun.
Tampa's probably the realest team. They're probably gonna be everybody's pick to make it out. But something about Montreal, something about Buffalo, they're gonna have a hard time getting to that conference finals. Now, if they get to that conference finals, they probably win the cup, the whole damn thing. But I just don't think they will. I don't know. You're very down on them. I'm a little bit down on them too. I have them going out to Buffalo. Carolina, I'm super down on them. You're not down on them at all, obviously. But with the goaltending, with the depth, not happening. This is not their year, in my opinion, at least.
Yeah, and we talk about Warpath for the Wild. Tampa has the second hardest path, I would say, assuming these results happen. They play the Canadians, who they're not a great playoff team, but they're a great team.
Canes have the easiest path.
Lightning have the hardest path.
No, Canes have the easiest, though.
Canes have the easiest, for sure. After the Senators, it's just coasting, except you think they lose to the Penguins. But anyways, Lightning play the Canadians, then they have to play the Sabres, then they have to play probably the Hurricanes, not the Penguins, to make it to the Cup.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be tough too.
It's a tough path. The Oilers, you have to give them credit. Like Anaheim can make stuff happen, I suppose. I don't think it's like a hard first round, but they could do stuff. especially if Doshtal is playing good. And then Vegas, that's just a good playoff team. Like, it's not anything crazy. It's comfortably the third hardest path to a conference finals is the bottom left, but it's way harder than what Carolina supposedly has. Over here in the bottom right, Ottawa, no goalie, not real, and then the Pennsylvania teams, I don't know, like no one believes in them besides me.
Yeah,
So
I feel like pretty much every bracket the Canes play a total of 9 games to get to the conference finals.
Yeah.
At most.
Yeah.
And I think that's pretty realistic. I think that's also why I have them. I mean, obviously, I have them in 7 against the Senators. It's not going to be that easy, but like you said, they're gonna have a pretty easy path, relatively easy. They're gonna play the Sabres. They're gonna have a full tank, and for once, they're gonna make it past that conference finals hump, make it to the playoffs, and then they're gonna keep riding it and win.
if Pittsburgh loses in the first round in Philly, you'll never hear from me again. Like honestly, like it's over, bro.
The channel's over if Pittsburgh loses in the first round.
Oh, it's so bad. I'm just never making a bold prediction again if that happens. Yeah, I really hope it does. The playoffs are gonna be a blast though. They start tomorrow as of recording. We're gonna be there throughout. Obviously, we're gonna focus a lot on the Wild, but I do like to think at the end of every round we'll do a recap, talk about those series as a whole. But yeah, most of the attention, hopefully, will go towards the Wild.
Oh yeah, we'll be there for Game 3 live. Dylan will be there for Game 4 live. Gonna be some barn burners. Minnesota Wild playoff hockey, the most optimistic playoff hockey we've
Ever had.
Probably.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Bangers.
I think we have. This is our Conn Smythe slide right here. No.
Conn
Yep.
Smythe
There's
time.
Brandon Bussey for Cole.
As we've said many times, as we said in January too, we're still both set on those
Sticking
picks.
to our guns.
I would love. See, I don't want Brandon Bussey to win. I don't want the Hurricanes to win. I want the Wild to win, and I want Boldy to be my Conn Smythe pick. And I don't think I'm being realistic here. I just have a gut feeling that it's going to be Brandon Bussey legacy season
Yeah.
in the playoffs. He didn't even play good this season. Like you said, 890 save percentage. But my little gut feeling, it's just telling me it's going to be Brandon Bussey legacy performance.
It would be very insane. I mean, it's not that crazy to say that could happen, but if it did, with how vehemently you're sticking to it, that'd be awesome. Besides the result in the Cup finals, but that'd be pretty crazy. But yeah, those are that's our entire playoffs right there that we've just did. I'm looking forward to my bracket happening and not Cole's. But until probably the end of the first round.
Yeah, we'll do a video every round. If the Wild get first rounded, we might just do one video and then one video for the Cup winners.
But yeah, until next time, thank you for watching the playoff and award recaps. Make sure you watch both videos. But until then, we will see you later. Peace.